What's going on, boys? Hope everyone's having a good day. It's nice to be back on this live stream with you all. I'm hoping that this live stream actually stays up, though. I don't know if you can see like the top bar up here, but this is like my memory cleaner thing, and I'm at 91%, and I can't seem to get it to go any lower. So there's like a 50-50 chance that I get kicked off of the first stream that I'm back. But we'll give it a shot. You know what I mean? So guys, today's stream, we're just going to do a scan. I already found one stock that I'm kind of interested in looking at. It is a pharma company, but I'm looking at it. I'm not thinking it's too risky in any like a particular like blowout way. It's looking like a short vol opportunity. I'll go over how I found it. Talk about how to use the scanner a little bit, things like that. Over the next forever, probably, I'm going to be putting a lot of emphasis on how to use the terminal. Like it's the funniest thing, guys. We spent so long, building out all this education to teach options trading that we sort of left the terminal in the background. It's like we teach you everything you need, the background you need to make this thing valuable. And then we're like, all right, yeah, go figure it out. I don't know. But today's the day that we start changing that. We start moving forward in a new direction here. I need to update Chrome. No, man. Don't you know? You never update anything, right? Rob's saying I need to update my Chrome. No. You never update anything until it forces you to. You just keep clicking, remind me tomorrow. That's how these things work. So guys, if you do happen to have a trade idea of your own that you want to go over today, let's definitely talk about it. But if not, I'm going to break down a couple ideas. I have one that I've looked into just before this live started. I'll share that with you. But besides that, we're just going to do a scan together. We'll do a scan. We'll talk about some of the features that we can look at to start to say, good idea or bad idea. But the number one thing I always, I want to just remind you guys of is at the end of the day, you still have to we are still looking to make discretionary decisions here where, like we're going to use this information to try and make a better decision, but it's not going to tell us exactly what to do, right? At the end of the day, we still need to have our own ideas and formulate our own hypothesis about what is going to happen here, right? So for example, I'm going to show you how I use the scanner to search for short vol trades today. And then we're going to go and look through, okay, what are some of the factors that I'm seeing about these stocks that are showing up on my radar that can maybe help me make a decision here. But at the end of the day, it's always the scary part about trading is we are the ones who pull trigger on it, right? We got to make it happen. And, it's not always the easiest thing to do, especially as you start to uncover more information. It can start to feel trickier. It's sort of like Pandora's box, where it's like once you start looking at more stuff, you realize, okay, maybe it's not as straightforward as I once thought it was. And it can feel a little paralyzing when it comes to decision making. But hopefully by going over stuff with me every morning here, you'll start to be able to overcome that, find your own ideas, make better trades. So Harry's saying, let's take a look at Moderna. Okay, Harry, keep that on the list. We'll definitely take a look at that today. And Adam wants to take a look at the meme stonks. What are they back on the radar, guys? Is that what's going on here? What actually happened with AMC? Let's take a look. 12%. Dude, this is nothing. This is a regular day in AMC land. Come on. Okay, let's go over the one that I found. It's not a meme stock at all. What I did was I came in here, I put in my regular liquidity filters. So price above 15. I put actually 3,000 option volume, a little on the lower end, just creating some room for myself there to see what's out there. I put IV versus forecast above 1.2. And I believe it was just the first one on page 2, BSX, Boston Scientific Corporation. All right. So BSX was the stock that I looked up, and looking at it, I see something that I always like to see, which is, first of all, it doesn't have a very high level of implied vol. And if we look at the vol cone here, we can see that we're actually on the lowest. We're at the minimum here, basically, for everything except for the 30-day mark. Right. So, that's always something I like to see. Taking a look here at the or not like to see, but something that I should know is I'm probably not trading the level of implied vol here. I take a look at the option volume, little spike in the call volume here. Nothing too concerning, really. Looks like some good liquidity. Nothing super crazy happening in the 10 or 30-day skews, which is really what I'm going to be looking at. Actually, on the 30-day, pricing in a little bit of risk for a move here. But if you think about it, still the level of implied vol is low. And that's going to be really important, guys, because this is a pharma company. So we're going to want to take a look and say, okay, what are the odds that some big news comes out for this thing, an approval, something like that? And what I'm seeing here off the bat is, sure, we see a little bit of a smile in the skew here, but we have to remember that the level of the skew is also what's important, right? We're talking, this thing has seen 100 implied vol on the 30-day, and we're seeing in the wingtips here 40, right? So is this really price? Sure, it's pricing in some risk of a move, but it's not pricing in that blowout move. So we're not in a situation like, it's not like BIIB, I guess. I don't know if that's happened yet, but if we take a look at this, right? So we see here BIIB. If we look on like the 10-day here, we've got that smile in the skew. But what makes this different from BSX is if we look here, we're at all-time highs. On this 20-day mark, we're seeing 124 implied vol here. And this just goes to show market saying something's going to happen, right? So much higher than being down here at the 30 mark for them. So let's come back to BSX, dig a little deeper into what's going on here. Yeah, I heard about this NFT thing with GME. Harry, if you can link an article or just type up a sentence or two about what's actually going on there. I heard a couple mentions about it. I think the NFT thing's a little bit blown out of proportion right now. There was one thing. About whatchamacallit, the NFTs that I thought was a good one, which was FNKO, because they already make something that's collectible. And I think that for them to do an NFT made a lot of sense. But GME, if you can break down for me why that would be important, we can definitely, I can share some thoughts on it. So BSX, right? Given the fact that it's a low level of implied vol, what are some things that I'd like to see? Right? Nothing really special with the skew here. But if we look at this, the implied vol over the last, what's this? Little over a month, we are seeing implied vols outpacing realized vols. Right now, something that I like about this is we're not in a high vol environment. Right? There's no surprises that I think are coming up. This looks to me like a little bit of a risk premium that if we sell some vol here and we, delta hedge our position, this could be one of those trades where we just get to collect our premium, right? It looks pretty straightforward from a short vol perspective, right? Option volume looks, pretty normal, to be honest, right? We have these spikes that occur on more or less a monthly basis, leading me to think it's some sort of rebalancing, or, it's not the unusual volume that we may see people freak out about online or think is tradable. It looks pretty standard to me. And looking at the term structure here, we have an event coming up in about 60 days, but I wouldn't be looking to sell that far out. I don't need that much like Vega exposure or anything like that. I would be looking to sell that implied realized spread, right? I think my bet would be that the realized volatility will be less than what the market is implying. So what I'd be looking to do here is probably coming in and selling something like a 30-day straddle, right? Sell a 30-day Delta 50 straddle, or maybe strangle, depending on what you need to do. And I would let that rip. And I would set myself a threshold for hedging my deltas. So I wouldn't be doing it every 10 deltas or anything. I'd set myself a threshold for hedging it maybe like every 100 deltas, something like that. Now, while that looks great, let's come over to the news and sentiment here for a second. Okay, I had an article that I liked here. I found it through Forbes actually. So let's pull that up. And this basically just broke down what's new with this company. This is an article from last week. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it went over some good stuff. I'll share it with you guys in the chat if you do want to take a look at this. So talked about a couple of different things. So apparently the stock is actually taking a little bit of a hit recently, dropping about 5% in the last week. And people are actually really attributing that to the overall market volatility rather than company-specific volatility. So that would be that market vol rather than that non-event vol. And so what I'm thinking here is that there is something going on with them where they just launched a clinical trial for its anti-drug coated, or it's some sort of device that they created, right? I think it has something to do with helping people who've had heart attacks or something like that is the general gist I'm getting here. It's designed to open narrow vessels and then transfer the drug into the vessel wall. Okay, cool. So it looks like it's a pretty big deal if this does get approved, something to keep on our radar. What we'd want to do for this is try to do some research into where they're at with it. So they just launched the clinical trial. So is this something that's we're going to have results in 30 days, in 60 days? Because if it is, let's say 60 days, well, I'd feel very, very confident now selling that 30-day vol. If it's in 20 days, let's say, or about a month, there may be some more hesitancy on my part to go and sell that volatility. So that's definitely something that I would be keeping my eye on. We can maybe try to do a little digging together to see if we can uncover when that date would be. They do not share it in this article. It may not be public. They've also gone through a couple acquisitions recently, buying some companies, blah, 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 things like that. It's not nothing really special besides this new clinical trial that they're in. However, we always have to remember that these companies, they're always in clinical trials and stuff, right? And that's why, we see when we look at the skew, we do see that sort of up and down, right? Like potential for up or down movement. And it's just because it's the nature of these companies, right? It's just the nature of these companies. All right. So let's see here. Lil Pop Tart, what's going on? I like the username. It's good stuff. Okay, let's see. DKS, a big uptick today due to a positive earnings and announcement of share buyback. Would you not consider share buyback as a significant event? Vega, we'll take a look at that in a second here. We got a couple of good things to look at today, guys. I really appreciate you sharing ideas in the chat, things that you're looking at. Ned, if you can share a little bit more about TAL, what are you looking at there, man? Is this the one? Oh, this is the one that I think I saw Jordan chatting with you guys about it, saying, how the hell did we let this slip under the radar? I'd rather not look at it then, man. I have enough trauma in my life without needing to look at that. John's telling me to download AdBlock. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, John, like I'm on my laptop right now. I use this thing for streams when I need to, but yeah, I should probably like clean it up a little bit. Harry, I will get back to you today. My apologies for that. Okay. Thanks a lot, Vega. Appreciate it, man. Okay, so we'll move on from BSX right now. But that's the thing. We would want to just basically get an idea of when that result for the trial will be public. If we can get that information, we can go out with a lot more confidence and sell some volatility here. If we can't get it, we want to try and hypothesize when it would be. So maybe we can look at timelines for other approvals they've had. Is it something they tend to breeze through? Do they get it in like 20 days or does it take 4 months? We know when it started. And if we can estimate when it will be delivered, the results, we can go out with a lot of confidence. So that would be for BSX. So now let's take a look at a couple of the other stocks that people have mentioned here. So GME, let's pull it up quick. I believe they have earnings coming up soon as well. June 8th. Okay, so it's still a little bit out. TAL 2-year vol. All right, Ned. Was TL one of the companies that we've looked at before on the stream, actually? Can't remember. Let's see here. Okay, so GME, first let's take a look at what's going on with this. So, in terms of are we seeing a huge uptick in volume? Relative to the last month, certainly. We've already seen 200,000 calls traded today on GME. So there's a ton of call pressure coming in right now. And given the fact that it is a very memey stock, I would say that this is probably not like some relative value play or something. This probably is retail volume coming in, which is nuts. It's a lot of volume. Right, relative to the last 3 months, it's not unheard of levels of volume. However, if this does continue on this trajectory for today, this could be like all-time high volumes for the last 3 months at least, for sure. Right, we're already seeing that tons of call volume coming in. Vol's starting to pick up again on the 20 and 30 day. Let's take a look at how the skew has changed over the last couple of days here. So we'll look at between Monday and today. So let's come here. GME. So we're looking at today, and we'll look at Monday here. And let's look at the 30-day vol for it. Okay, so we're not seeing, so we've basically seen the surface elevate a little bit, right? Going up from about 126 at the money to 153, and a little bit more of that call skew picking up, right? A little bit more call skew here than what we were seeing before. And that reflects that call pressure that we've been seeing coming in. Right, if we take a look at the skew over time here, let's look at the last month. Right, you see it dipping down here from 3.2 to negative 3.5. That just reflects that slight bit more of a call skew coming into the market. Makes a lot of sense given the call pressure. And so what I'm thinking here, guys, is like I'm always hesitant to just be blatantly selling vol, non-event vol around GME. I just think at the level that it's at, sure, it's pricey. Maybe a call fly would be kind of cool. Man, I really hope that Rob kept some of that call fly on for GME today, because up another 11%, he would have made probably like an absurd amount of money if he did. But like, take this in, right? If we look at the last, right, so if we look at the realized vol in the term structure here versus the implied, like we're still like this thing could go so much higher. It could. It could also not. It's such a tough bet, and if I don't see where my edge would come from trading this. Nice, Rob. Nice. Expiring this week. Oh, oops. Let's see. Let's take a look at the earnings data for it right now. Guys, it's implying a 21% implied move. 22% right now. And who knows, maybe we get a bit more of a rally for that into the event. It's still a little bit out. Could be pretty, this could be another opportunity to sell vol on GME earnings. Like we did it last quarter. It was really, really stressful, but it ended up paying out huge. So we could definitely look to do that again. But in terms of the non-event vol that we are looking at right now, I'm probably staying away from it. I wouldn't be going near this thing from a strictly short vol perspective or long vol. You go long vol here, the thing has a couple flat days, you're going to lose your shirt, right? You go short vol here, thing moves a little bit more. Come on. Right. So what do we see here? Positive correlation between price and vol. Are you trading theta? Ned, do you want to expand on what you mean there? And Vega saying, agreed, it's very risky to apply rational arguments to meme stocks. Yeah, and it's this as well, right? Like if I were to take a bet on what I think is going to happen here, if I had to take a bet, I would bet on this thing. I would be leaning negative delta and short vol, right? Like just leaning slightly negative deltas here because what are the odds that everybody who's new is right again, right? Like on average, these guys are going to be wrong on average. Yeah, Ned. But that so the thing is you'd probably want to dig up. So Ned's saying when the price goes up, so does the vol. So what you'd want to do though, Ned, is you'd want to maybe dig a little bit. I'd want to maybe dig a little bit deeper and say, if does vol go up if the stock trends up, or is it only when we're getting these explosive moves? Because if it's only when we're getting these explosive moves, it obviously makes sense, right? But I would be surprised if like even an up move in general drives vol up a bit. Then that would be maybe something interesting we can play around with. But I like what Tender Vega offers saying. I'm probably not confident enough here to take any bet. Right now, when it comes to the earnings event, I'm thinking we could maybe make some money here. I would maybe go in short vol around the earnings, assuming the non-event vol isn't crazy, right? So if the stock slows down a little bit and then we have the earnings event, I would maybe consider coming in here and selling vol. Yes, Ned is saying, has someone taken a bullish butterfly on this? I believe that is what our buddy Rob Kornmeyer has done. Oh yeah, I guess I could pull that up here. Let's take a look. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That would be nice if we could do that, eh? That'd be a nice feature to add. Maybe like a slider down here, like where we can adjust the range of this and it like pulls the data around. That'd be kind of cool. Right? A bullish fly here might not be a bad idea, assuming you can get the leverage that I think Rob's getting here. That could be okay. Do I like the Weekend? Yeah, I do. Weekend's cool. He's from Toronto. I'm from Toronto. Why wouldn't I like him? He put us on the map. So what is the news about their NFTs? Building an NFT platform. Okay, great. Kira, good luck. Just don't have the whole account on it, all right? Promise me you don't, you're not ending up at the soup kitchen if GME doesn't hit. I know that Team PA is a bunch of cowboys, but we different kind, Okay, we had a couple other stocks that people wanted to take a look at here. TAL 2-year vol. What's going on here, man? Okay. 54% on the 1 year I'm seeing here. Let's go back a couple weeks here. Wow. Vols have really picked up on TAL. Any idea why? What's going on with this company, Ned? Okay, good stuff, guys. You're not betting the farm on this GME fly, but I hope you got a good. Yeah, exactly. You should get a pretty good payoff on it if it does hit. Um, yeah, Ned, let's take a look at this. This is kind of a cool trade. Like TL longer dated vols here looking super bid. Isn't there something about China regulating education companies? I did see something about that actually. Very good point. Uh, it offers after school education for primary and secondary students located in Beijing. Okay, let's go to news. Analyst downgrade. No one cares about that. Blah blah blah. Okay, we'll open up this article. Let's see if in the terminal here we get any more juicy information. China wants to crack down on Chinese education, online education. Okay. A little bit more articles published than on average for this company. So we are seeing some more news about it right now. Let's see here. Okay, let's go to the articles here and see. Just gonna try and speed read through this a little bit. Impact of regulatory crackdowns. Okay. Let's see. It's been intensifying regulatory supervision of private education regarding violations of competition and pricing laws. So they've already had some fines. Okay. Sky high valuations. Okay. So maybe this level of vol is justified, eh? Looks like it's a super pricey company to buy from a fundamental perspective. Crackdown from the government, trying to, basically saying that them and GSX are like price fixing their services. Is that kind of what it is? Mediocre growth or mediocre financials. So what do you guys think? Is this like what might be worth looking into is like is this really new information coming out about them, or is this like pretty commonplace that these companies come under heat like this? Right, it's down 30% in the last 12 months. This company is taking an absolute hit, right? Yeah, I don't know. This was a useless article. How is it moving relative to our buddy GSX? Will GSX still pull up the vol for it? I can't. I don't know if it will. because I know it changed tickers to GOTU, but we might still be on GSX here. Okay, looks like we're good. Oh no, GSX stopped here. Okay, I got to get the new ticker in for GOTU. I'll send Jordan a message. Yeah, it shows up till it changed about 20 days ago. So I'm going to have to pull in the new ticker for it. What's my favorite song from the weekend? I don't know. I haven't like been like a huge fan of him for a long time. Like back when he came out with that that album that had like High for This and stuff like that. That was probably the first time I really started listening to him. That stuff was pretty cool. And yeah, besides that, like some of his newer stuff is pretty cool, right? Like even like Starboy, that stuff was really cool. Yeah. Take it easy, Ned. Cut me some slack here, all right? I think the right answer is what? Is it talking about Toronto artists? Why are you listening to The Weeknd? It's all about Bieber. TAL tutoring ban denied by authorities. So what's happening there? What's this all about, Koa? Where Drake? I don't know, man. When people come to Toronto for the first time, it's like the picture of all like the monkeys sitting around in the living room. It's like, where Drake? Okay, guys. Well, TAL, I'm a little skeptical on. Like it's super bid, that's for sure. Yeah, Cole, we were just seeing that, right? Like they're not trying to ban it. What they're trying to do is there's some issue with like more or less like price fixing, where companies like GSX and TAL have like anti-competition, like bad competition rules in place with each other, where it's making the market less competitive. And because the government's trying to like encourage some stuff to do with families, blah blah blah, they are cracking down on it. But vols do look pretty bid. Can't deny it. Can't deny it. Right? We've seen in the last month these 1 year vols go up by about 16 points. It's a huge change. It's a huge change in these back month vols here. But I think it might be justified. The only thing that I'm kind of thinking is if you look back to April 2020, there was a big fraud at TAL. 2 year vol was still a lot lower than it is now. Yeah, 6 points lower. Adam, if maybe we're going to wrap up the stream here in a second. So maybe if you want to chat about that in the group, that'll help some of the guys that are looking at it. Maybe they didn't look that far back. But if it's a similar type scandal or you think it's even more devastating, then why the heck are we seeing vols even higher than that right now? So I'd be very interested to know what you uncovered there. But besides that, guys, I think we're going to wrap up the morning stream. This was a lot of fun. I really liked having like a super high level of engagement with you all. This was super cool. Let's keep it up, right? I think that this makes it for a really productive session. I didn't even really share this outside of the PA group. So it's just us hanging out, trying to make it happen. So let's keep it up. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow.